Jasmine just dropped a bomb so big, the entire LHH universe is shaking. And if what she's saying is true, Mendeecees has a lot to explain. According to Jasmine, the secret link between Mendeecees and Erica Dixon wasn't accidental, wasn't innocent, and definitely wasn't as harmless as he tried to make it seem. She claims Mendeecees reached out to Erica behind Yandy's back, using a private number he kept for business, except the business in question wasn't music, wasn't TV, and wasn't legal. Jasmine says the connection started with a late-night DM, then moved to a quiet text thread, and eventually turned into a private meetup at a lounge in Atlanta where they talked for hours, away from cameras, handlers, and Yandy's eyes. The crazy part? Jasmine swears she was there the night it happened, sitting at the bar, watching the two of them deep in conversation like they'd known each other forever. And when she tried to mind her business, she accidentally overheard Erica say, "I can't believe we're meeting like this." Now social media is in meltdown mode, accusing Mendeecees of sneaking, Erica of stirring, and Jasmine of exposing everybody at once. And the real question is, why were they meeting at all? And what were they hiding? Long before Jasmine ever opened her mouth about Mendeecees and Erica, the tension between these three had been simmering under the surface, like a pot ready to spill over. And the truth is, every single person in their circle felt it, even if nobody dared to say it out loud. Mendeecees had always walked through love and hip-hop with this image of a changed man, mature, reformed, steady, a man who learned from his past mistakes and was determined to keep his life in order, his marriage with Yandy intact, and his reputation clean. But what people don't talk about is the emotional weight he carried after years in prison, years away from his kids, years away from the world he used to navigate with ease. That kind of isolation changes a person, breaks them down, reshuffles their vulnerabilities, and when he came home, even though he was smiling, even though he was grateful, even though he was focused, Mendeecees was still trying to fill a void he couldn't name, and that void made him accessible to the wrong people at the wrong times. Erica Dixon had her own wounds, years of heartbreak, single mom struggles, public disrespect, toxic relationships, and a co-parenting journey so exhausting it made her build emotional walls thicker than concrete. She didn't trust easily, she didn't open up freely, and she sure didn't let men walk in and out of her life like rotating cast members. But the one thing Erica always valued was honesty, raw, vulnerable, unfiltered honesty. And when she crossed paths with Mendeecees years ago, before the fame and cameras locked them into storylines, they had a brief but powerful understanding. Two people who had been hurt deeply. Two people who had learned the hard way not to depend on anyone. They never acted on it, never pursued anything, but the emotional familiarity stayed in the shadows. So when life brought them back into each other's orbit years later, that unspoken connection was still there. Meanwhile, Jasmine, messy, outspoken, hated and needed at the same time, had been floating around their circle far longer than fans realized. She knew stories before they were aired. She heard whispers before public scandals happened. She was the kind of woman who picked up on energy instantly, who saw things others pretended not to see, who noticed glances, tension, chemistry, distance. She saw the way Erica softened around Mendeecees in rare moments. She noticed how Mendeecees treated Erica with a respect he didn't show many women outside his inner circle. She also knew Yandy, and she knew Yandy's biggest fear was not cheating, not betrayal, but emotional intimacy with another woman, because emotional connections destroy marriages long before physical ones do. So while Yandy was busy being a boss, building businesses, raising kids, and managing the chaos around her, Mendeecees was quietly drowning in responsibility, pressure, and expectations. And that's when the crack opened. That tiny emotional opening where a man starts craving someone who listens without judgment, someone who isn't disappointed in him, someone who isn't expecting perfection. Enter Erica Dixon, not intentionally, not romantically, but emotionally, absolutely. The backstory gets even crazier when you realize the first DM Mendeecees allegedly sent to Erica wasn't even flirty. It was him checking on her after a messy public argument between her and Scrappy. He simply said, "Hope you're good, ignore them." That one message turned into a short conversation. Short turned into occasional. Occasional turned into more consistent. And the more Mendeecees confided in Erica about stress, about business issues, about feeling misunderstood, the more Jasmine noticed something was off. Mendeecees started leaving rooms to answer messages. He started putting his phone face down. He started going for drives that lasted longer than they should have. And every time Yandy asked what was happening, he'd say he was handling business. But what business? That's where everything started unraveling. Erica tried to keep things neutral, but her life was chaotic at the time, too. And having someone to vent to, someone who wasn't trying to date her, someone who wasn't judging her parenting, someone who wasn't dragging her through the mud, felt refreshing. She didn't see the danger because nobody ever sees emotional entanglements coming until it's too late. And Jasmine? She was the accidental witness who saw the whole thing building like a slow-motion car crash nobody could stop. She watched the shift, watched the subtle signs, watched the emotional intimacy form. She saw Mendeecees' name pop up on Erica's phone at odd hours. She overheard Erica mention his name in conversations that didn't make sense. She even caught him deleting messages once. And that was the moment Jasmine realized something was happening behind the scenes. She didn't know how deep it went. She didn't know what stage it was in. But she knew something existed, and it was only a matter of time before it exploded. By the time Jasmine saw them at the Atlanta lounge, sitting close, leaning in, body language matching like lovers who weren't lovers yet, she knew the innocent excuse was dead. Erica looked too comfortable. Mendeecees looked too relieved. The conversation looked too personal, too intense, too familiar. And when Erica said the one line Jasmine overheard, "I can't believe we're meeting like this," Jasmine realized she had just witnessed the beginning of a secret connection that could destroy everything Yandy thought was secure. The real explosion didn't start when Jasmine saw Mendeecees and Erica sitting together. It began the moment she realized they weren't meeting by coincidence, but through a chain of private messages, deleted calls, and late-night conversations that had been going on for months behind Yandy's back. That night at the lounge, when Jasmine watched them from across the bar, she expected awkwardness, tension, or at least the respectful distance two people with complicated histories should have. But what she saw instead was something far more dangerous. Mendeecees leaned in close, elbows on the table, that soft smile he only used when he felt safe, and Erica mirrored him, chin in her hand, eyes locked on him like nobody else in the room existed. It wasn't romantic, not yet, but it was intimate, familiar, and emotionally charged in a way that made Jasmine's stomach drop. She wasn't just watching two castmates chat. She was watching two wounded people confiding in each other like they had been waiting years to finally say the things they couldn't tell anyone else. At one point, Mendeecees rubbed his forehead, frustrated, stressed, worn down, and Erica reached out and touched his wrist. A tiny gesture, barely a second long, but Jasmine froze. Because that 1 second told her everything. Boundaries had already been crossed. What makes the situation worse is that Mendeecees wasn't the one who ended the meetup. Erica did, and not because she wanted to leave. It was because she was scared. Jasmine saw the moment it hit her. Erica pulled back suddenly, looked around the room like she had just woken up from something dangerous, and said, "If someone sees us together, they'll think it's something it's not." But the way she said it, the way her voice trembled, it sounded like someone terrified of what it was becoming. Mendeecees tried to reassure her, lowering his voice in that calm tone he uses when he's trying to fix things. "It's just a conversation," he said, but Erica shook her head, whispering, "You know it's not." Jasmine felt her whole spine stiffen, because that was the moment she realized Erica was fighting feelings she didn't want to admit, and Mendeecees wasn't shutting it down. Then came the hottest twist of the night. Yandy's name came up, not in anger, not in jealousy, but in worry. Mendeecees said something Jasmine never expected. "Yandy and I aren't in sync. I don't know how to talk to her anymore." Those words hit Erica like a brick. Her entire body language changed. She sat up straighter, eyes softening, expression shifting from guarded to empathetic, and Jasmine recognized it instantly. That look, that dangerous look women get when they feel sorry for a man who shouldn't be opening up to them in the first place. "You need to fix it," Erica said gently. "She loves you." But Mendeecees shook his head, voice low. "Sometimes love isn't enough." And that right there, that was the emotional spark Jasmine knew could burn down an entire marriage. But the real shock came next. The thing that made Jasmine go from uncomfortable witness to explosive whistleblower. Just as Erica tried to end the conversation and walk away, Mendeecees grabbed her hand. Not hard, not aggressively, but desperately. "Don't ghost me," he said softly. "Don't disappear again." Jasmine nearly dropped her drink. Again? What again? Erica froze too, her eyes wide, and for the first time, Jasmine saw something she never expected in Erica's face: guilt. "We said we wouldn't bring that up," Erica whispered. That sentence tore through the moment like a lightning bolt. "What do you mean, bring that up? What was being hidden? What history was deeper than fans ever knew?" Erica pulled her hand back, breathing hard, and said, "That was years ago. We were different people." Mendeecees shook his head. "Doesn't mean I forgot." Jasmine felt her heart pound, because that was not the way friends talked. That was the way people with a past talked. That was the way people with unfinished business talked. Before Jasmine could fully process what she had overheard, someone unexpected walked into the lounge. Yandy's cousin, the one who practically reports everything back to her like a human surveillance camera. Jasmine froze as the cousin spotted Mendeecees and Erica sitting together. Her eyes widened, her expression hardened. She pulled out her phone instantly, and that was when Jasmine realized the entire situation was about to explode in real time. Erica panicked, whispering, "Oh my God, we have to go." Mendeecees cursed under his breath. They both stood up, too quickly, knocking the table slightly, drawing more attention to themselves. Jasmine watched the cousin walk outside, calling someone, pacing fast, furious. And if that wasn't bad enough, Jasmine saw what Erica didn't. Yandy's cousin took a photo of the two of them before stepping out. A full shot. Mendeecees and Erica standing close, too close, looking guilty, looking secretive, looking exactly like two people hiding something undeniable. That photo never hit the internet, not yet, because it went straight to Yandy first. And what Yandy did next would change everything. The moment Yandy received that photo of Mendeecees and Erica standing too close, her entire world tilted like she'd been pushed off balance by a truth she wasn't prepared to face. She stared at the picture in silence, not angry at first, not panicked, just stunned. Because Yandy wasn't stupid. She knew chemistry when she saw it. She recognized emotional intimacy instantly, and she understood the difference between a friendly conversation and something deeper. And the look on Mendeecees' face? That wasn't co-parenting energy. It wasn't casual. And it definitely wasn't the expression of a man who thought he was doing something harmless. It was vulnerable, open, trusting, and seeing him like that with someone who wasn't her, especially someone as emotionally damaged and unpredictable as Erica, cracked something inside of Yandy so sharply she had to sit down before she passed out. She didn't cry, though. Not yet. Instead, she texted her cousin, "Where are they now?" Her cousin replied immediately, "They just left the lounge." Together. Yandy's heart slammed into her ribs. Together. That one word sent a shockwave through her chest, so powerful she felt physically sick. And that's when anger finally rose like fire in her throat. She wasn't going to blow up publicly. She wasn't going to start screaming on social media. She wasn't going to give the world another Love and Hip Hop circus. No, she wanted the truth, the raw truth, and she wanted it straight from Mendeecees' mouth. Meanwhile, Jasmine, who had been holding this secret for too long, felt like she was carrying a bomb strapped to her chest. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't focus. She kept replaying the moment Mendeecees grabbed Erica's hand and said, "Don't disappear again." What did that mean? What history were they hiding? And why did Erica look so terrified to bring it up? Jasmine knew she had to tell Yandy, but she also knew telling her would burn every bridge she had left. But when she woke up the next morning to Yandy posting a cryptic message, "God reveals what people hide," Jasmine realized the truth was coming out one way or another, and she wasn't about to let the narrative twist her into the villain. So she pulled up to Yandy's house unannounced, shaking, heart racing, ready to spill everything. The moment Yandy opened the door, Jasmine broke down. "I saw them," she cried. "I saw the way he looked at her. I saw the way she touched him. And Yandy, this wasn't the first time. They've been messaging." Yandy's face went blank. No yelling, no tears. Just a deadly calm that scared Jasmine more than a meltdown ever could. "Tell me everything," Yandy said quietly. Across the city, Erica was spiraling too, pacing her house, shaking, replaying the entire night in her mind, knowing Yandy had probably already seen the picture. She knew she shouldn't care what Yandy thought, but the guilt burned anyway, because Erica knew something Jasmine didn't. The reason she said, "We said we wouldn't bring that up," wasn't about flirting, wasn't about a past argument, wasn't about some emotional confession. It was about what happened years ago, something nobody ever found out about, something that happened during a vulnerable moment before Mendeecees went to prison. They hadn't slept together, hadn't crossed that physical line, but they did share something intense, emotional, and forbidden. A long late-night conversation at a party years ago where Mendeecees told her things he never shared on camera, about fear, about responsibility, about being torn between two lives. Erica listened. She comforted him. And somewhere in that moment, both of them felt a connection that scared them so badly they agreed never to mention it again. But people forget emotional intimacy is just as dangerous as physical intimacy, sometimes worse. And seeing Mendeecees again after all those years reopened a box Erica thought was locked forever. By midday, Yandy's anger had evolved into full-on betrayal. She waited until Mendeecees came home, pacing the kitchen with her arms crossed, her heart threatening to explode. When he walked through the door, she didn't say hello. She didn't ease in. She slammed her phone onto the counter and said, "Explain this." Mendeecees looked at the photo and froze, his face draining of all color. Not because he was guilty, but because he knew exactly how bad it looked. "It's not what you think," he whispered. Yandy shot back, Then what is it? He tried to tell her it was innocent, just a conversation, but Yandy cut him off. Why didn't you tell me you were meeting her? Why did she look like she was comforting you? Why are you deleting messages? Mendeecees stuttered, searching for words that didn't exist. Yandy's voice cracked. Mendeecees, I can handle anything except lies. If you're unhappy, say it. If you're lost, say it. If something's missing, say it. But don't you dare stand in this house and make me feel crazy when you know there's more to this. Mendeecees' shoulders sank, guilt overwhelming him. And then he said something that shattered her. I didn't mean for it to get complicated. Yandy's breath hitched. Complicated, she whispered. So it was something. Mendeecees finally admitted he'd been emotional, vulnerable, frustrated. And Erica listened. The moment he said her name, Yandy snapped. Erica, she yelled. You ran to Erica? Out of every woman in Atlanta, you confided in her. She wasn't asking. She was wounded, deeply. Before the argument could escalate, Mendeecees' phone buzzed. A message from a private number. He glanced at it, and his face went cold. Yandy snatched the phone from his hand, and what she saw made her knees buckle. It was a photo, a new photo, from the same night. This time, a close-up. Erica holding Mendeecees' hand. Not a handshake, not accidental touch. A real hold, intimate, familiar, like two people with history. Underneath was a message. If you won't tell her the truth, I will. Yandy looked up slowly, her face morphing from heartbreak to something darker. Who sent this? She asked. Mendeecees whispered, I think it was Erica. But he was wrong, because across town, Erica got the same message, and when she opened it, she saw something that made her scream. Someone else was watching them that night. Someone with a camera. Someone with an agenda. Someone who knew everything. The moment Erica opened that mysterious message, the scream that ripped from her throat was so raw it echoed through her entire living room. She dropped her phone, hands shaking violently, because the new photo wasn't just another angle of her and Mendeecees. It was a picture taken from inside her car, a shot from the passenger seat window directly behind her, meaning someone had been close enough, bold enough, and dangerous enough to stand only feet away without her ever noticing. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she scrambled to pick up the phone again, terrified to look at the message below the photo. When she finally forced herself to read it, her stomach dropped. You two forget I know everything. The words burned into her eyes. Someone wasn't just watching. Someone was tracking. Someone who knew their past, their secrets, their emotional connection. Someone who wanted chaos. Erica pressed her hand over her mouth, fighting tears, because she knew instantly. This wasn't Mendeecees. This wasn't Yandy. This wasn't Jasmine. This was someone else entirely. Someone with access. Someone with motive. Someone who had a vendetta against all of them. Meanwhile, across town, Yandy was pacing her kitchen like a lion ready to devour anything in her path. The argument with Mendeecees left her shaking with rage, betrayal, and humiliation. She didn't even want to cry. She wanted answers. She wanted revenge. She wanted to confront the one woman she swore she'd never have to deal with like this again. Before she could even think twice, she grabbed her keys and stormed out the door, heading straight for Erica's house with more emotion than she could process. She kept replaying the image of Erica holding Mendeecees' hand, her brain trying to convince her that maybe it was innocent, but her heart was screaming that something deeper was happening, something she never saw coming. When Yandy pulled up, she didn't knock softly. She pounded on the door like she was ready to drag the truth out of Erica by force. Erica opened it, eyes swollen with fear, and Yandy did not give her even 1 second of breathing room. "Why were you with my husband?" Yandy demanded, her voice shaking with fury. "What were you two talking about? Why are there secret pictures? What is going on?" Erica backed up, hands trembling. "Yandy, I swear to God, this is not what you think." "Don't lie to me," Yandy screamed, stepping forward. "I'm not lying," Erica cried. "Someone is watching us." Yandy froze, confusion flickering across her face. "What do you mean, watching?" Erica shoved her phone forward. "Look." Yandy snatched the phone, and her eyes widened as she stared at the photo from Erica's car. The angle, the nearness, the threat. Her entire expression shifted from anger to horror. "Who took this?" she whispered. Erica shook her head helplessly. "I don't know, but they sent the same picture to him." Yandy swallowed hard. "Who?" Erica's voice cracked. "Mendeecees." That was the moment everything shifted, again. Because if someone had sent the same threat to both Erica and Mendeecees, then this wasn't just a jealous woman trying to expose them. This was someone playing puppet master, someone who wanted to pit them against each other until everything exploded, someone who wanted to destroy both their reputations and their marriages. Before Yandy could respond, Erica's phone buzzed again. Another message. Erica slowly opened it, her body trembling like she knew something terrifying was waiting. The message wasn't a photo this time. It was a video, and when she pressed play, both she and Yandy gasped. The video showed Mendeecees at the lounge talking to Erica. But this angle was different from the one Jasmine saw. This angle showed the table from farther back, from someone sitting at another booth, someone close. The camera zoomed in slowly, then panned to the side. A familiar pair of hands entered the frame, a familiar bracelet, a familiar long acrylic set. Yandy's heart dropped. Erica felt dizzy. Those hands belonged to only one person, Samantha, Lil Mendeecees' mother, Yandy's longtime enemy, the woman who had vowed years ago to destroy Yandy's family. Erica stumbled backward, covering her mouth as the realization hit. It was her. She was there. She saw everything. Yandy nearly collapsed. "She's been watching us?" Erica nodded, crying now. "She's been stalking all three of us." Samantha had always hated Yandy, claimed Yandy stole Mendeecees from her, claimed Yandy ruined her family, claimed Yandy turned her son against her. And she hated Erica too, because back in the early seasons, Erica had defended Yandy publicly and publicly dragged Samantha on social media. And Mendeecees? Samantha's resentment toward him had never disappeared after their years of co-parenting drama. And now, Samantha had the perfect revenge: emotional revenge, social revenge, public revenge. By exposing Mendeecees and Erica's secret emotional bond, she could destroy both women and rip the entire family dynamic apart. Before they could even process the truth, Yandy's phone suddenly buzzed with a new message from an unknown number. Hands shaking, she opened it. This time, it wasn't a threat. It wasn't a picture. It wasn't a video. It was a live location ping for Erica, for Mendeecees, and for Yandy. All three of their phones pinged at the exact same time, showing the same location on a map: a warehouse on the edge of Atlanta. Under the location was a chilling message: "If you want the whole truth, come now." Erica grabbed Yandy's arm. "We can't go." Yandy pulled free, eyes blazing through tears. "We're going," Erica whispered, terrified. "She's unhinged, Yandy." Yandy whispered back, "So am I." And without another word, the two walked out the door. Moments later, Mendeecees, who received the same location ping, got into his car and sped toward the warehouse too. None of them realized Samantha was already inside, and she wasn't alone. The warehouse sat on the edge of Atlanta like a scene from a crime documentary. Dim lights flickering, a rusty metal door half open, the sound of wind whistling through cracked windows. And the moment Yandy and Erica pulled up, neither of them spoke. They were breathing hard, adrenaline pounding, anger and fear mixing into something explosive. Yandy stepped out of the car first, jaw clenched, eyes burning. She wasn't afraid of Samantha. She was furious. Furious that after years of drama, co-parenting battles, custody arguments, and emotional hell, Samantha still found a way to crawl back into her life and twist the knife deeper. Erica walked slower, clutching her phone like a lifeline, guilt twisting in her stomach because no matter how innocent her intentions were, she was now standing beside the very woman she once feuded with, dragged, and refused to reconcile with. But even she knew this was bigger than petty beef. Samantha was unhinged. And someone like that doesn't send location pings without a plan. As they approached the warehouse door, Yandy whispered, "Stay behind me." And Erica whispered back, "Girl, I ain't trying to die first." They pushed the door open, stepping into a dimly lit space filled with boxes, a single hanging bulb swaying, and the sound of someone pacing in the shadows. Then, slowly, Samantha stepped forward with the smug, icy smile of a woman who had been waiting years for this moment. Well, look who showed up," she said, arms crossed. Yandy didn't hesitate. "What do you want, Samantha?" But Samantha laughed, a cold, unsettling laugh that echoed around the warehouse. "I don't want anything from you," she sneered. "I want what you stole from me, my respect, my family, my reputation, my son." Erica stepped closer, her voice shaking. "This isn't the way," Samantha snapped toward her. "Shut up, Erica. You always inserting yourself in business that ain't yours." Erica stiffened, but Yandy stepped forward protectively. "You really out here stalking us? Tracking our phones? Sending pictures? This how you fix your life?" Samantha smirked. "Don't act like you're innocent. You stole my child. You kept him from me. You turned him against me." Yandy's voice cracked with rage. "You weren't there, Samantha. I raised him. I loved him. I mothered him when you wouldn't show up." Samantha's expression twisted into something dangerous. "And now I'm gonna show the world what you really are, a liar." Before Yandy could respond, Mendeecees' car screeched into the warehouse lot. He jumped out, storming inside, chest heaving. "Samantha!" he yelled. "Where is my son?" Samantha's smile widened. "Oh, now you care about where he is?" Yandy froze. Erica froze. The blood drained from Mendeecees' face. "What did you do?" he growled. Samantha stepped backward into the shadows. "Relax. Lil Mendeecees is safe. For now." Yandy nearly lunged at her. "What do you mean, for now?" Samantha held up her phone, shaking it tauntingly. "He's with someone who loves him more than any of you ever did." The warehouse went dead silent. Mendeecees' voice cracked. "Who?" Samantha's smile hardened. "His real family." Yandy screamed, "We are his family." Samantha whispered, "Not anymore." Erica grabbed her chest, her breath leaving her body. "Where is he, Samantha?" Samantha didn't answer. Instead, she slowly turned her phone around and pressed play on a video. Yandy gasped. Erica covered her mouth. Mendeecees staggered backward like he'd been punched. The video showed Lil Mendeecees sitting in a living room, safe, calm, next to a woman who turned to face the camera. A woman none of them expected. A woman who had disappeared from the storyline years ago. A woman who had unfinished business with Yandy, Mendeecees, and Samantha. The woman was Kim, Lil Mendeecees' other mother figure. "Yes," Samantha said. Kim has him. Yandy screamed so loud it echoed off the metal walls. You let Kim take him? Samantha smirked darkly. Kim didn't take him. He chose her. Mendeecees collapsed against a crate, breath shaking, because Kim was the last person he wanted involved, the woman who hated Yandy even more than Samantha did, the woman who once said she'd destroy the Harris family one day, the woman who had tried to take custody before. Erica whispered in disbelief, This isn't about us. This is about revenge on Yandy. Samantha nodded. Exactly. And now the whole world will see the truth about who the real villain is. Yandy shook her head violently, tears burning down her face. Where is he right now? Samantha smiled coldly, a smile that said she was enjoying every second. If you want him back, she whispered, you'll have to face the truth at the next location. All 3 phones buzzed. A new address, a new threat, a new trap, and Samantha walked straight into the darkness before anyone could stop her. The drive to the second location was pure chaos, Yandy shaking behind the wheel, tears streaming down her face as she replayed Samantha's words over and over. Mendeecees gripping the dashboard, breathing like a man who had lost control of his entire life. Erica in the back seat calling everyone she could think of, while her own heart pounded with guilt, fear, and a sinking dread that they were walking right into a trap none of them could see clearly yet. The address Samantha sent led them to an abandoned community center on the east side of Atlanta, a place boarded up for years, the windows cracked, the parking lot empty except for a single dim streetlight flickering like a warning signal from the universe. When they stepped out of the car, Yandy whispered, Please let him be inside. Please. And Mendeecees clenched his fists so tightly his knuckles turned white. Erica followed close behind, as terrified as them. Because the deeper this went, the more obvious it became that Samantha's motive wasn't just anger, it was annihilation. Inside the building, their footsteps echoed on the dusty floor. A faint glow shined from a room down the hallway. Mendeecees rushed forward first, busting through the door, and what he saw made his heart drop straight to his knees. Lil Mendeecees was sitting alone at a table, calmly coloring. No fear, no panic, just quiet, too quiet. The kind of quiet that meant something was very, very wrong. Baby, are you okay? Yandy cried, rushing toward him. But before she could reach him, a voice cut through the room like a knife. Don't touch him. They turned, and Kim stepped out from the shadows, arms crossed, face tight with disgust. He's fine, she said coldly. Better than he's been in years. Yandy nearly exploded. You had no right. You kidnapped our son. Kim smirked. Kidnapped? He walked right into my arms. He's tired of the lies, tired of the cameras, tired of you. Mendeecees stepped forward, shaking. Kim, this isn't the way. Kim laughed, a bitter, broken laugh. Isn't it? Because the only time you listen is when the world is falling apart. Erica whispered, Kim, please don't do this. Kim's eyes snapped toward her. And you, stay out of this. You made things worse the second you met up with him behind her back. Yandy's eyes filled with fresh tears. Why are you doing this? Kim inhaled sharply, then whispered a sentence that froze the entire room. Because Samantha wasn't the only one watching you. Erica felt her stomach drop. What does that mean? Kim stepped closer, lowering her voice. All this time, you thought the messages, the pictures, the videos, were coming from Samantha alone. But they weren't. Mendeecees clenched his fists. Then who else? Kim tilted her head, giving them a long, pitying look. The person who really wants your family destroyed. Before they could respond, Yandy's phone buzzed violently. A new message, No location, no video, just a single sentence that made her entire body go numb. Ask Mendeecees about the woman he met before Erica. Yandy turned to him slowly, fear and heartbreak twisting her face. What woman? She whispered. Mendeecees went pale. He didn't answer. He couldn't. Erica stepped back, shaking her head. No, there's more? Yandy repeated louder, voice cracking. What woman? And right then, as Mendeecees opened his mouth to speak, the lights in the building shut off. Pitch black. A door slammed. Footsteps ran. Lil Mendeecees screamed. Yandy screamed his name. Mendeecees cursed and stumbled through the dark. Erica's voice echoed, "Who's here? Who's here?" And then a silhouette appeared in the hallway, a woman's figure, holding a phone with the screen glowing. Her voice came through the dark like a ghost returning for vengeance. "Looks like y'all forgot about me." Yandy gasped. Erica froze. Mendeecees' blood ran cold. The voice belonged to Samantha's sister, and she said the words that ended everything. "I was the one sending the messages, and I haven't even shown you the worst receipts yet." And now, with Samantha's sister stepping out of the shadows, holding the phone like a weapon and dropping the final line that chills your bones, "I haven't even shown you the worst receipts yet." This entire storyline has officially crossed into a level of chaos even Love and Hip Hop hasn't seen before. What receipts is she talking about? What does she know that even Samantha and Kim don't? And who was the mysterious woman before Erica that Mendeecees met? The one he didn't want Yandy to find out about? Is this woman connected to Samantha's sister, or is she another bomb waiting to go off? And what about Lil Mendeecees? Is he safe, or is he being used as a pawn in a revenge plot deeper than anyone imagined? Fans are already arguing online. Is Yandy the victim? Or did she ignore red flags for so long that the universe is now forcing every hidden truth into the light? Is Erica guilty of emotional cheating, or was she manipulated by someone who already had the storyline planned? And why would Samantha's sister involve herself with this level of intensity? What's her personal vendetta, and what does her involvement mean for Mendeecees' entire family tree? This is bigger than co-parenting drama, bigger than jealousy, bigger than old feuds. This is a war built on resentment, secrets, and receipts collected over years. So now it's your turn. Drop your theories in the comments. Who do you think the other woman is? What do you think Samantha's sister has on them? And who is truly pulling the strings behind this chaos? Hit that like button if your jaw is still on the floor. Share this video with someone who loves Love and Hip Hop scandal, and make sure you subscribe, because part 2 is going to be darker, deeper, and more dangerous than anyone is ready for. The next explosion is coming. Stay tuned.